when I'm on TPN, everything just goes down, 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 down. So this is our second day home. Today we have a nurse coming out, a home nurse. It's supposed to be for TPN, blood draw type of thing, but I'm not going to let her touch my central line. I'm going to have her stick me. From Florida, where I'm from, I was always warned not to have the home nurses mess with my line. They're not the most apt to be sterile. And my pediatric doctor had had multiple patients become septic from these random home nurses. Originally, though, I did have a home nurse who came out and trained us on the TPN part. And this is also how I realized I wasn't a big fan of home nurses, because while the lady was extremely nice and she always made us laugh, she just didn't know what she was doing. She would take my labs and she wouldn't shut off my TPN, and then she wouldn't waste either. So when every time my labs would come back, my glucose would be in the thousands and everything would be all off just because there was TPN in it, and you could clearly see that there were chunks of lipids in the syringe. And then another time, her trying to do dressing changes on my pick was just a hot mess express, because when I would go into the outpatient clinic, the pick nurse would always complain about how all these home nurses can't do the dressing changes right, and so they have to redo them once they get there. So eventually we just started going to the outpatient clinic indefinitely each week for labs and the dressing change, until my mom felt comfortable enough doing the dressing part at home. But still, we didn't do labs at home, but I didn't need weekly labs anymore unless I was on TPN. I haven't been able to sleep in my own bed. It's too flat and it can't recline, so I've been stuck on one spot in the couch. But it's still nice to be back in my own environment. I'm tolerating the deficit better home than at the hospital. At the hospital, I kept getting triggered by the nurses and their laundry and different food and that sort of thing, just not being in a safe environment cell-wise. So although I wasn't quite up to par surgically to be discharged, because I hadn't even gotten up yet, from a mast cell standpoint, I was better off at home. So we were trying home, and so far it's been okay. It's been busy. I've either been sleeping or doing that. We're going to GI. I'm not even sure what we're going for, but we are going.
I think it took a lot to get here to this appointment, and I really don't want to go. This office isn't easy on Cheyenne. She reacts.
I'm allergic to the monitors.
Anyway.
Then we got Silvino peeping. We got Silvino peeping in the back. We still don't know anything. We were concerned about, since I did have C. diff, I stopped that treatment. The last dose was yesterday, but we're concerned that the C. diff could potentially hang out in my GJ tube. Since I don't have very much of a colon, it can travel up farther to reach that tube.
But you were putting the medicine through the tube.
But yes, I was putting the medicine through the tube, so there's that. And so we were debating between having IR replace the GJ, but I'm so close post-op that none of us feel comfortable doing that. I honestly can't even imagine undergoing a tube change with how I am right now, and nor do I think IR would even agree to do it to begin with, because who wants to go inject air to check placement into someone who's already having air fluid levels in their scans that have just had surgery, you know?
The awkward part.
Why? We're also going to decrease my IV fluids because I've been on.
You're gonna keep her in the hallway while we're at the car, or you're gonna go straight out to the car?
Here, yeah. It's not raining.
I've been
You can
on-
just go straight.
I've been on 3.5 liters daily, which is a little excessive. I was running fluids continuously on 75, right? Because after I went into the hypovolemic shock, I just needed continuous fluids. But now I'm not. I don't seem to be third spacing, and I don't have the C. diff where I'm losing fluid that way. So we need to try to come off that a little bit.
I agree.
But I am having problems with my blood pressure kind of still. So
We'll have to just
I've
see.
just been really potsy, but you know, surgery exacerbates the POTS. And when I'm on TPN,
And there's a hurricane out there.
yeah,
too.
there's a hurricane coming. Again, another one. When I'm on TPN, I get potsy. There's something about TPN in my body that is not optimal. I feel like I don't absorb it as well. I know that sounds weird because you would think with a malfunctioning gut you wouldn't absorb anything. But as long as I'm doing at least some feeds, even if I'm 80 pounds, if you check my vitamin levels, most of them are like pristine still, other than like vitamin D and ferritin. But when I'm on TPN, everything just goes down, 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 down.
I think
And-
that you can start feeds, but I don't think that you should even contemplate it until
Yeah. So another
mid-November.
thing we discussed was doing J-tube feeds again. But the GI doctor said that because they removed my colon, but my small bowel still has a problem, there's a good possibility that the same thing can happen, but to my small bowel. So she said I'm going to be having a lot of x-rays in my lifetime. But that didn't make me feel very good. Because she was saying that everyone she sees it happens over and over and over again.
Talks about
testing.
going in and dropping an NG and getting it suctioned, but you're already doing that, and you're still having the issues.
So I'm still on continuous drainage. When I disconnect for even a few minutes, I just blow up like a whale.
I just don't understand why.
It's kind of disheartening. I was supposed to go to the motility specialist, but I missed my appointment because I had surgery and was in the ICU. So now we have to go try to find a different motility specialist to reschedule with.
Well, that one wasn't worth the.
Yeah, I heard the one I was going to see wasn't worth the time of day anyway, so perhaps that was a blessing in disguise. So we are in the car at the surgeon's office going to get my staples removed. And I can't wait because I'm reacting to them. And this surgeon's office was dealing with my TPN until the plan is that they would order my TPN until this appointment, and then from there my GI is going to take over the TPN orders. But for whatever reason, they started being all pissy and don't want to do the TPN anymore, even though I had been trying to get them to consult GI the whole time I was admitted so that GI could be aware of what was going on and deal with the TPN because they're more knowledgeable about such. So apparently this surgical outfit is so bad that my home health company has refused to even work with them anymore for any patient because they are always so rude to them. So I am hoping that I do not have a bad experience when I go in here. Is there anything you want to say? Yeah.
What the heck was that?
My head bumped up.
I wonder if they'll let me take the staples out.
I doubt it. Probably
Me
for like
too.
legal reasons.
But a boy can hope.
Now I'm nervous. So when they took out my staples, it didn't hurt as much as this.
That's pretty cool. Does it hurt worse or less than you thought, Shad?
The same.
The same.
It's those, because like right there, it feels like there's something coming out.
It should be just a little pinch.
And you saved your belly button.
I tried. Here's the reason it's kind of like this is I try to go here first and here to see if I could save you a opening up and taking it out. So I try to do a laparoscopic procedure, but your bowel is so distended.
Yeah, and her small bowel's not that pretty either.
Yeah.
And so she's still, like, the pain that took us into the ER that night, she's still having it to
Milder.
less severity, of course. But we had GI appointment yesterday, and she goes, unfortunately, Cheyenne, you're just going to be back and forth with having x-rays and then not knowing whether it's an ileus or an actual blockage.
I feel like something's in there.
I don't know. It still feels like something's kind of in there.
And then there's a scar here too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
thank you. I was just wanting to feel, I want to get this and feel this real quick. How you feeling? You know what I think that is? Underneath, I think that is actually a suture. And there's another suture here. So that what you're feeling, that you're so thin. No, you're so thin. You have that you're feeling the sutures are coming through. I don't want to take those out now. We could take those out, but I don't want to take it out now. I would wait for your fascia to heal, and I would wait
Just see what happens.
months,
Okay.
for that to happen. I'd rather have the skin break down and dress it and wait for the fascia, because what I did was, usually what I do is I put one suture in, and with you I put a bunch of sutures in case one broke.
Gotcha.
We had other ones, because I don't want you getting hurt.
Thank you.
Last one.
Yep.
Yay.
Did I get them all?
I think that's it.
Okay, let me get you a call.
Well, I am home now. The surgery appointment went well. Nicest surgeon I've ever met, actually. So during the appointment, I learned that he also removed my appendix because that is attached to the colon, and he removed part of my small bowel too. When doing a resection surgery, you can develop hernias and hematomas, and with loose and fragile skin, for someone like me with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, you are more prone to those complications. And he wanted to ensure there was the perfect resection that held, and so he tried to find like the perfect segment of small bowel that wasn't too damaged and didn't have certain blood vessels around to do the resection with. I'm finally walking around. I can get back and forth to the bathroom. Post-op pain, that's actually been really good and it's been improving steadily. So struggling with the same pain as that brought me into the ER that night, and the same pain episodes that I have been experiencing for the last year. It's just a milder version, but lasting all day. We just assume that the pain is from my small bowel not functioning as well. Like every time I go into the pain when it's super, super severe, like during an acute episode, kind of like what happened when I went to the emergency room when it just so happened my bowel twisted that time. But I mean, that doesn't always happen. Like usually it's just you go in like with the acute episode and you just like it'll last a couple hours, you lay off feeds for a couple days, do some extra venting through my G-tube, and you just move on until it passes and you can go back to feeds. But this time with the emergency surgery, that did not happen. The distension just made my bowel twist, so the obstruction symptoms were not subsiding on their own because there was an actual change in my anatomy and it wasn't just a pseudo obstruction anymore. So the surgical pain is steadily improving. I'm just dealing with milder versions of like my pseudo obstruction pain. There's nothing I can really do about that, but I'm hoping it'll improve with time. Maybe my small bowel is just extra traumatized. You would think that it would be okay when I'm on TPN and not doing feeds at all. So that's what's kind of like, it's like weighing on me now because it's like constant. And although it isn't like at a 7 or 8 on the pain scale, even when it's at like a 3 or 4 baseline, that type of pain from the pseudo obstruction it just gets on you after a while. So as of right now, we're just hoping that this surgery will have bought me a few years before the damage from my conditions cause further issues, and I am hoping I do not ever need another surgery in my lifetime, although I'm not certain that's quite realistic.